Okay, yes, so I have a long history working in data and analytics, starting at SAS Institute and then working also at Citra, being a project director for building the fair data economy kind of foundation together with the EU Commission, building on the European data strategy. And now since early this year, I've been acting as a CEO for DataSpace Europe, which is a quite interesting company with strong roots in agriculture. So just quickly about where we come from. The Finnish Farmers and Forest Owners Association is one of our main owners. So working with the primary producers, working with agriculture, enabling richer data flows is, and also working for digital and like for economic and social sustainability topics, empowering digital solutions for sustainability. That's very much in our heart. So, and we started our operations in agri-food domain. Actually, the first initiatives in this domain were already taken in 2016. At that time, we had one of our main owners, Simia, launched a product development for this kind of service bus type data sharing solution called ValueNet. So the first version was launched in 2018. At the same time, when there was many things happening at the European Commission level, with the European Data Strategy, with AI Act, I think we used to call this regulations, data regulation that implement EU data strategy for big five regulations, coming from the responsible use of AI to the Data Act enabling this IoT data coming from the machines and Internet of Things data sharing. But most important, maybe from our point of view, was this Data Governance Act that kind of gives a framework for European single data markets. So our business is built on the Data Governance Act opportunity. And what we want to do is to facilitate these single markets for data with reliable data sharing solution like Triton. And then we see that this increased sustainability frameworks and regulation that taxonomies, sustainability, digital product passports, there will be so complex data needs that we need both AI tools and we need a richer source for data. And that's what we are trying to facilitate. So our logic is to ask a consent from the farmer or consent from the user. And based on that consent, we take care of how the data flows between different data holders and data users and reusers. So basically enabling these AI-driven services through secure and cost-effective data sharing solution. But also kind of enabling the ecosystem for researchers, commercial vendors to innovate on the combined and enriched data. That's also in our focus. So building a semi-structured way of connecting data from different source systems, applications into the larger data sets, and then making sure that this whole data flow is transparent and respects the rights for the data holders is our technical kind of capabilities. What might be interesting for you, and this comes from the Citra work, I think that we are seeing more and more talks about soft infrastructure when we are talking about making data available from different source systems or different applications. IDSA, Gaia-X are the initiatives where they are developing these playing rules or rule books for data sharing. Kind of basic model templates that make it easier inside the ecosystem for all parties to rely on each other. So the trust's very core in the data sharing. How do we enable that? We have that embedded in our data sharing solution. And I think that transparency in AI, how you are using the data for your software development, what kind of analysis you are doing, but also this data sharing part, who benefits from the data, what are the commercial terms, what are the technical standards that this ecosystem uses for data sharing. Those are all documented through this rulebook approach that we developed according to European recommendations. So basically what we do in our ecosystem view, if you are a data holder, you can use our dashboards, our Triton marketplace to give data descriptions, to kind of create aftermarket for your data products. And then as an other organization, you can review all the services, all the data sets, and then request data holders to open a data channel for your AI applications. So this is the logic we are currently creating, and we are the first EU recognized neutral data intermediation service that can provide data intermediation service across all European countries inside the EU. So the Commission wants that whenever there's a commercial, more than 2 commercial parties wanting to share data, they will rely on this neutral data intermediation service. Of course, the logic behind is that Commission wants to facilitate data sharing from business to business data, industrial data, and make these large data sets. They're talking about agricultural data, DataSpace, where large data sets are exchanged in interoperable way. And one entity that could be the facilitator or that could be enabler for that is a data intermediation service provider like DataSpace Europe. I know that we are a little bit short of time, so I will rush into this practical example very, very soon. But this is basically the same story in one picture, because I believe that pictures are much better than just waving my hands. So our role as EU recognized data intermediary is to facilitate these different data points to securely and cost-effectively pool them into the larger data sets for service data and service providers. So when I was talking about rule book, it's a document that describes those terms, how you can access data from the agricultural data space or agricultural data ecosystem. You sign for the access and agreement, that you play with the play rules, that you compensate farmers for the data, that you compensate your partners for the income that you get from the data. So we are facilitating, we are enabling, powering this ecosystem to flourish, but also making semi-structured data available on the data marketplace. Potato X is one of our use cases for cross-border data sharing, working with Citra and working with the Belgium service providers and Finnish equivalent, building of kind of data warehouse for farmers to get a combined insight into this case, how the, well, yeah. And then of course this marketplace can have multiple end users, starting from researchers, going to commercial companies, industry, and so forth. So we got this status as a EU recognized data intermediary first week in January, and as said, we are the first one in EU. So I'm hoping to see more and more kind of use cases where smaller players, more advanced AI developers or tools for AI are combined into this larger data marketplace or using data from the marketplace. What we would like to do is to promote these service providers at our marketplace. And one of the very interesting cases was when we were combining data from the traditional FMIS systems. So taking the basic data and then digging into the ground and also looking at the potential, harvesting potential with machine imaging solutions from the yield system. So I have a white paper or a little bit more information for this. Unfortunately, it's still in Finnish, but I think it was very nice experiment where we got very accurate data about additional fertilization. We counted the full cost of fertilizing using the real costs from the traditional way of doing, then actually relying on luck and then adding 2 additional fertilizing kind of chores. And for analyzing the results, we combined the data to farm management information solution, to the yield system that has this forecasting solution, and soil scout that's actually censoring under soil, and then analyzed fertilizers with very precise understanding on that specific area, and looking at the measures, looking at the outcome from these measures. So this was one very short use case. We made it for demonstration purposes for maybe 6 months ago, but now we are looking for partners who can expand on this and maybe run the same experiment for 4,000 farmers to show the potential in AI, because I really think that it's still quite new thinking, and the only way to convince farmers about the benefits of the AI is to provide these very practical proof of concepts or proofs for the solutions. That's basically my quick catch up on this topic. Not so much on AI, but facilitating AI or enabling AI.
Yeah, thank you, Jaana. Well, we already got a really good question here for you. And this question is about the data quality and reliability.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the data quality and reliability in the agricultural sector, because there are a lot of different methods and systems and things that collect data.
Mm-hmm. It's I call our ideas a semi-structured way to create interoperability and also semantic interoperability, and then leading to reliability. Because if you are in the need of data and you make a business, in business terms, you describe the data, that these are the types of parameters that I need for this data product. Then what our backend solution does is that it translates that business description into this data flow. But of course, and then if you say that these are the 3 source systems you need to combine, it kind of connects, our connector interprets these business terms into technical terms and connects, opens this data channel, so to say. Mm-hmm. But then it doesn't say anything about data quality. It just pushes the data as it is. But then when you start reusing your data, I think then you incrementally you start also working on data quality. Mm-hmm. So with this and reusable data products are the way to increase this reliability. So I think we are starting to see more and more software developers or solutions focusing on the how to productize on data. And that means that we take this very obscure or scattered data and make these semi-structured data sets available. Mm-hmm. I'm always thinking that when you use data or when you return data back to the operations, then the quality starts to improve. So it's like feeding or eating your, well, it's a process. I think the data quality and it really improves only by reusing the data.
Yeah,